The year is 2025, and we got a great Jason Todd comic. Surprising to say, because the amount of great Jason Todd storylines you can count on one hand, because sadly the character's been misused for the most part. Most writers don't really know what to do when they get their hands on him. They tend to just run in circles and have him go through the same arcs that we've already seen over and over again. It's not too interesting. But thanks to Jeff Lemire and Dustin Nguyen, we got another great comic to add to the list, and that is Robin and Batman Jason Todd, which is a sequel to the first Robin and Batman book they did with Dick Grayson, and now this one's obviously about Jason Todd, and it's really good. I'd highly recommend it if you haven't read it. It just ended this week. It's only 3 issues. I imagine the trade isn't long away from coming out, but go get those 3 issues if you can and read it. It's really good, and it's definitely worth it. If you're holding off, it's good. So, this comic, I'm mainly going to be talking about issue 3 today because that's what just came out and that's what I thought was the best part of the story. I like the first 2 issues, but I will also be covering the first 2 issues a little bit just so you're not lost when I'm talking about issue 3. So, spoilers if you haven't read it. Without further ado, let's get into it. In the first issue, Batman and Robin are trying to take down this villain named the Cuckoo. Robin ends up screwing up and he has a violent outburst and the Cuckoo gets away, and Bruce tries to confront him about it in the Batcave, and so does Alfred, and they start talking to Jason, and Jason's like, I'm not Dick Grayson, I'm not your son, I wasn't here for any of that, I'm not here for some afternoon special, I'm here to talk tactics and to take down bad guys. I'm not here for any of this family stuff, we're not a family. And then he walks off. Then Bruce and Alfred have a conversation where Alfred's essentially like, yeah, maybe you shouldn't have given him the Robin costume, and maybe after summer's over and school starts back up again, we can kind of find Jason a new home and he shouldn't be with us. And Bruce is like, what are you talking about? That's crazy. And then Bruce gets some info on the villain that got away earlier, the Cuckoo, and he goes to Jason. He's like, hey, Jason, you want some redemption? I found out where the Cuckoo is. We can go take him out, trying to like give him a pep talk and help him. And so they go, they find the Cuckoo just drunk off his ass at a bar, and Jason's like, let me take him down by myself, please. He's not a threat. He's so drunk. And Bruce is like, all right, I'll stay back. So Bruce stays back, and Jason goes in after the Cuckoo. They go around a corner, and Jason sees him there about to inject some heroin. And it gives him flashbacks to when his mom OD'd. And throughout this entire series, all 3 issues, Jason's like constantly having dreams and flashbacks of when he found his mom OD'd. And that throws him off, and he's stunned. And so the Cuckoo gets the upper hand on Jason. Then Batman over the intercom is like, what's going on, Jason? What's happening? And he jumps in and he tries to go help Jason. When he rounds the corner, the Cuckoo's dead, just blood everywhere, and Jason's holding him and covered in blood. And Batman's like, what did you do? What did you do? And Jason's like, this wasn't me. You think I killed him? I didn't kill him. And then we see this guy named the Wraith that shows up. And this guy had shot the Cuckoo, obviously. Then a little bit later, we get the full context, and we see that the Cuckoo had Jason in a compromised position, and he was looking like he was going to kill him, and the Wraith took him out before he could do that. And then he had a whole conversation with Robin, and he's like, hey, you're more like me. If you want to actually serve justice to Gotham and not just, go on this merry-go-round like you do with Batman, come visit me. And he gives him an address. But then Batman tries to fight the Wraith. He comes around. He doesn't know about this whole conversation that happened because he got there a little bit later. He tries to fight the Wraith. Wraith ends up getting away. And at the end of the issue, we see that Jason does go to visit Wraith. And something that's weird, I don't know why, but Wraith has like black brunette hair at the end of issue 2. And then in issue 3, he has blonde hair. Don't know really what's going on there.
Quick little note, the reason I didn't put a page up showing Wraith with blonde hair is because the digital version isn't out yet. They released the physical copy on August 27th, as you saw in the video. I have a physical copy, but the digital version doesn't come out till September 3rd. Have no idea why there's different release dates between the physical and digital, but there is, and that's why you won't see any pages from issue 3 in this video. But just wanted to let you guys know that. But you can trust me, if you have the physical issue, you'll see that for some reason Wraith has blonde hair in it, where in issue 2 he had black hair.
Also, I should say issue 2 is really fun because Dick Grayson shows up, because Batman has some Justice League business to deal with, and he also thinks that would be kind of good for Dick and Jason to hang out, and maybe a nice change of scenery for Jason, so that way it's not, brooding Bruce that he's dealing with, but more sort of the fun cousin or uncle or whatever you would see Dick Grayson as to him. And Dick takes him around the city, and he even talks about, he's like, hey, we're thinking about bringing on new part-time members, the Titans, would you want to join? And Jason just completely shuts him down. He's like, I don't want to join the Titans. Why do you consider any of this fun? This is a war. And Dick's like, bro, you're a child. You got to remember that because Jason talks about, he's like, I'm not going to be a child forever. And I got to blah, blah, blah. And Dick is like, yeah, that's kind of the point of my conversation here. You're not a child forever. You need to enjoy it while you can. And you can't just be brooding and all just be just like Bruce. And Jason says to Dick, he's like, Bruce isn't even like that anymore. Bruce isn't this like brooding, it's a war on Gotham anymore, showing sort of how Dick had changed him. And so that was an interesting point. But then Jason runs off, and at the end of the issue, Dick and Bruce have a conversation. Dick is like, this isn't good. Jason's not in a good headspace. And Bruce is like trying to talk to Dick and asking about, do you think I shouldn't have him be Robin? Should I take the costume away from him? Should I stop him? And Dick says, I can't tell you to make that decision, but also this isn't your decision to make either. The cat's out of the bag. This is too late. You can't take it away from him now. He's got to figure out who he is. And I like that conversation. I thought it was really good. And I thought he had a great voice for Dick Grayson there, being like, yeah, now that you have let him into this world and have him be Robin, you can't just then be like, oh, take it away because I was wrong. You got to let him figure that out, because I don't think forcing him out of that is necessarily the right decision to make there, because then you could cause all sorts of other problems. Now in issue 3 is my favorite of the series. The first 2 issues are good as well, but issue 3 is amazing and really tugs at the heartstrings, got some real emotional moments. In issue 3, Batman and Robin are separated because Robin is now teamed up with Wraith, and they're trying to hunt down whoever's behind this new strain of heroin that's going on, what they saw the Cuckoo using, which is like this red version of heroin. And so they're trying to hunt that down, and Batman's trying to hunt them down because he's been behind them every step of the way. And while he's trying to hunt them down in the Batcave, like looking for clues and everything, he's talking to Alfred, and he's like, they've made me weak having them. I could be more effective, maybe like Wraith, who's got nothing in his way, but having a Dick, Jason, Barbara, they've made me weak. And Alfred says something that I love. He says, if you were alone, you would be miserable. You've grown, Master Bruce. They've helped you become something more than Wraith. For better or worse, we're a family now, and that's worth fighting for. So good. I love that. I love that from Alfred. Alfred kind of comes around this issue, because in the first issue, he was kind of like, I don't know about Jason. And then in this issue, he's very much more backing Jason, and much more like, we need to save this kid and not kick him out. And also something I like consistently throughout all 3 issues is Bruce is very optimistic. He's very much like, we got to help Jason. He can become better. And I like that, because to me, that's deep down what Bruce Wayne is. That's what Batman is he is an optimist, because he has to be. You can't be fighting for Gotham and this hellish place with these horrible villains and not go crazy or not become some mass murdering psycho unless you are an optimist, unless you believe that Gotham can get better, unless you believe that the people you throw in Arkham for the 800 millionth time can get better. You have to be an optimist, even to an insane extent. You got to be. So I like seeing that with Bruce, even with Jason. He's like, no, the whole time, even when Alfred, who, Alfred's someone that he very much values his opinion, who's someone he could very much agree with and be like, oh man, maybe we should kick Jason out. Maybe we should have pawn him off on someone else. No, he even disagrees with Alfred. He's like, no, I think, Jason, we got to help him. We got to pull through. He can be better. I like that a lot. I love Jeff Lemire's characterization of Batman in this. There's a point in this issue where Batman gets Jim Gordon to shine the bat signal in the sky, and we then see Jason, where he's at in the city in Gotham, look up and see the bat signal. And Dustin Nguyen does a killer job here. There's just these 2 pages where we see Jason look up. We see the pain in his face, even with the white eyes, with the mask on. Dustin Nguyen does a fantastic job of displaying the pain and the inner turmoil in Jason as he sees the bat signal and the sadness. And then him trying to become more stoic and do the job that he has to do with Wraith. It's so good. It's very sad. And he goes, and they go and they find where this drug dealer is. Batman also finds out where the drug dealer is, and he's right behind him. So they confront this drug dealer, and in Jason's inner monologue throughout this issue, he's like, why am I scared of Batman? He's like, even after becoming Robin and being let into this world, I'm still scared of Batman. I'm still scared of Bruce, and I don't really know why. And then he's talking about how when he's with Wraith, he's not scared. He's free to be who he really is. He's not held back. He's not pretending. He's not scared. He's free. And then Bruce shows up, and we see that that Jason has the guy that's created this heroin that's been spreading around. He has this guy in a position where he could kill him. He's got a knife at his throat, and he's there. And Wraith has a gun pointed at Batman. He's like, "Go ahead, Jason. Do what you got to do. You need to kill this guy." And then Jason makes the decision to not kill him, and he saves Batman, because Batman the whole time is like, this isn't how we do things. Don't give in, Jason. And then in Jason's inner monologue, he realizes that the reason he's still scared of Bruce is because Bruce doesn't see him for this broken child that he currently is, but what he still could be, the hero that Jason could be, the good guy that he could be. And I really like that. I like that he's scared because he's like, man, he doesn't accept me for the broken thing that I am, but he sees this potential, and that's like a lot for Jason. He doesn't really know how to handle that, and that scares him. I like that. And then at the end, we see, after this whole confrontation, they've taken out Wraith, they've taken out the drug dealer, Bruce and Jason are talking, and Jason says, I saw the signal. And Bruce says, I was calling you home. And then they hug, and it's like, oh man, just tugs at the heartstrings. It's so I didn't realize in 2025 we were gonna get a Batman and Robin with Jason Todd storyline where I'm feeling emotions. Like, it's so good. And then at the end of the issue, we see later, like it's supposed to be months later, Jason goes and visits Wraith in prison. And Wraith is like, you know, you screwed up. You should have killed that guy. You should have killed the drug dealer. He probably went and did whatever else. And Jason's like, no, actually, because we didn't kill him, we were able to use his connections to Intergang to shut down who was backing him. And now that strain of heroin is no longer on the streets, and we shut him down. If we would have killed him, then that wouldn't have done anything. The heroin would have just kept going throughout. And Wraith is like, no, it would have set an example, and it would have done what needs to be doing. And he also talks about how he's like, you're still like me, you're not like Batman. And then Jason leaves, and in his inner monologue, he's like, I don't really know if I am going to be able to be the hero that Bruce thinks I am, and I'm probably not really that much like Batman. And that's kind of how it ends, because as much as optimistic as the storyline is and as great as everything is, we know how Jason turns out, so they can't just undo that and be like, no, actually, happily ever after, and Jason turned out to be a well-adjusted kid. So that's the end of it. I loved it. I thought it was great. I think it's definitely worth reading. You should definitely check it out. Dustin Nguyen was amazing on art. The only weird thing was, again, I don't know why Wraith's hair color changed from issue 2 to issue 3, because there wasn't any like big passage of time or anything, so was kind of weird. But other than that, everything's great. I love this comic. I thought it was really good. Sadly, I haven't heard a whole lot of people talking about this comic. There's a lot of great Batman comics out right now. Obviously, everyone's talking about Absolute Batman. It's a ton of fun. It's really good. Batman and Robin is great. Dark Patterns is great. But I haven't heard a whole lot of people talk about Robin and Batman and Jason Todd. So that's why I wanted to make this video, because it's really good. And that third issue hit so hard for me. I was like, I need to talk about this. I don't see enough people talking about it. So highly recommend reading it. Anyways, I want to hear from you guys in the comments below. What did you think of this story? If you've read it, are you going to read it? If you haven't, I really want to hear from you guys in the comments. Thank you so much for watching, and we'll see y'all later.
Hey, skinny boy, saucy boy, I be running to the bank. Yeah, you know I hit the gas in the whip full tank. Riding past the ocean while I'm listening to Frank.